Hey guys, it's Mark at HHR Performance. Today we're going to show you how to assemble an Alpha Racing rear paddock stand. These stands come in a box, flat packed, which is good for shipping, but there is some assembly. It's not hard, but this one actually came back to us. Customers said it was defective because it wasn't lining up whenever he put it together. So we're going to take a look and see if it's defective. All right, for this job, you're going to need an 8mm T-handle or Allen, a 6mm, and a 5mm, and a 10mm wrench. So here you have your wheels with your wheel spacers. On one side of the spacer, you have your threads, you have your frame, you have your attachment for your swing arm bobbins. Now they do make these in reverse, so you can have spools on the stand and a fork on your swing arm. And then your handle. Okay, so this is how we got it back. Normally these come flat packed, vacuum sealed, and it was returned because apparently it was defective. So it was just thrown in the box and it was kind of banging around. Luckily these are rubber, but you know, this is not something we can resell. We can see all the markings on it from trying to put it together. We can also see a lot of the hardware was cross-threaded. We had to re-tap the threads. We had to clean these up. So if you can't put a paddock stand together, you probably shouldn't be touching a motorcycle that you're gonna ride. But we clean everything up. Now we're gonna put it back together and see if this thing is true and straight. Okay, so orientate your stand here. Let's see, these arms are gonna slot in where they're recessed, and put your countersunk screws, your 5mm in here, and put your 10mm nuts on the back. You can put it together roughly and then take them apart, Loctite it afterwards if you feel like you want to have a test run. With your wheels, you're going to have the two thicker spacers on the inside, the thinner one with the recess is going to be your outermost with your bolt going through, and then the thinner one on the back side has the thread. So you want to select your height that you want it, and you can see it's fully adjustable. You've got lots of options. So we're going to go for the furthest down and the furthest forward. Here's your 8mm. The important thing is when you're putting these together, don't tighten anything down until you have the until you have it assembled. That's where we know the customer went wrong. So the customer is not always right. So make sure you pick the same hole. It's important. So we have it on the same setting. There's our two sides. Now to attach the frame to the handle. So we have two M8 bolts, and these just go through the sides here. Right through here, there is a little bit of wiggle room, as you'll see when I do it up. Move that out the way. This was where the customer had cross-threaded into this. Now for our hooks. Okay, so your hooks, you see the shape cut out, and on the inside, it's cut out here. It slots in just like that, and you want the longer prong forward, so that way when you're actually putting it under the swing arm spool, it captures it and then sits back. If you have it the other way, you can see it doesn't fit, and you're not going to be able to catch it with as much of the material here. You can see that everything is moving freely right now. If you were to actually put this together and tighten everything at the same time, you're going to end up with the same results the customer ended up, who ultimately wasn't happy, thought the product was defective, wanted to send it back. So here we can see that all points are touching and everything looks true to me. Now, this is what happened when the customer tightened his bolts. His stand looked like this. These wheels were on the flat surface, these wheels were off the flat surface. Sure. See how much movement, free play there is? So let's go ahead and tighten everything up. We've got our 10 mil on the inside here, and our 5 mil, or 4 mil, sorry. All right, so we want it on flat surface. Nip these up before you tighten them, and then don't over tighten them. If you've Loctite them, they're not going to come out. Again, make sure that it's fully down. Snug them up. Put your final touch. Go to your wheels. Snug these up. Here we have your rear paddock stand. Front is just the same. I don't know about you, but it looks pretty true and straight to me. So let's put it on the bike, and with the weight of the bike, that is also it's going to straighten something out if you've got it just slightly off. But make sure when you put it together, you don't tighten the nuts and the bolts as you go. Get it all assembled, just like anything. Full exhaust system, you don't start tightening things down. Get it all assembled and then go over and then torque your bolts and enjoy your product. All right. Okay, there are some adjustments you can make on these stands. These can be used on the other side, so they're not spaced in so far. So if you look on our bike, we got to put it on the stand, and the swing arm bobbins are actually in the wrong place for these holders to mount up against. All right, you can see on this side we have the fork on the bobbin, and if we go over to the other side, we can see that it's just too close to the swing arm. So we need to change the distance on this. We've removed the bolt from here, and as you can see, you can actually take the fork from the other side, put it so it's on the back side. That way you have a difference of about 5 millimeters. So you can see the gap here to here. So if we change them around, screw them back in, then it's going to widen the forks and fit the swing arm better. So there is a little bit of adjustment depending on what bike you have, what model bike you have. They're kind of universal. They can be used with other bikes. Alpha just have them badged as Alpha for their particular purposes. Okay, so you got your bike upright. Just be real careful when you're holding your bike to do this. Just get used to balancing with your bike when you put the stand on. If you need to, somebody else to help with you. And then locate the forks on the bobbins and just push down. Make sure that the bike is stable. There you go. So there you have it. Alpha Racing swing arm bobbins, Alpha Racing paddock stand.